I have here the brand new Specialized S-Works Epic World Cup in a size medium, weighing at 20 pounds, 12 ounces with tubes installed, and in kilos, 9.42 kilos. Stay tuned for after a video here, free up by Suntech on that Roval Control SL wheel right there. Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video, and today I have for you guys the very special, the very new Specialized S-Works Epic World Cup Edition. This is their newest iteration to the Epic line, and this bike has some awesome features about it because it is lacking the brain in the rear shock. In today's video, we're going to talk about everything this bike has done and changed, and then also some things I like about it and some things I don't. But as you guys saw, it is a stunning 20 pounds for this bike and a 9 kilo mountain bike. This is a full suspension mountain bike here, guys. I know you guys can't see it, but the shock is hidden under here. This is a dual suspension mountain bike at 20 pounds for a stock weight. There still are tubes in there, so you can make it lighter that way. You could change out tires as well. You have a 12-speed drivetrain system on here and also a power meter on here as well. A lot of new stuff that came out of this bike as well, like the Level Ultimate Stealth brakes and also a new Roval Control handlebar cockpit system. This is a one-piece bar and stem that's super lightweight, so we'll talk about that as well in this video. But this bike is crazy light. It's almost deceivingly light because when you go ahead and pick this thing up, you don't believe it's how it feels, and like you would think this thing would be more robust when you pick it up, but it's crazy how light this is, and it's just a fast bike. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and if you guys have any questions, let me know. So starting off with their cockpit here, this is the brand new Roval Control one-piece bar and stem combo. You're going to get it whatever spec it's going to come with. So this is a medium right here, so I believe this is going to be like a 90 millimeter with a, I think they put an 800 on here, so that way you can cut it down to whatever your preference is for riding on here. Usually if you're buying this kind of caliber of bike, you kind of know what kind of bar width you like, and they also have indications on the bar here as well to let you guys know what kind of cut is on here. It does have a little bit of a sweep or a setback on here to be a little more comfortable to the rider, but it is a super lightweight bar and it looks very stealthy as well. The bike does come included with a Garmin mount that goes flush right here, these two little holes, so you don't have to worry about where to put your Garmin out. It goes up here and wraps up right in this little nice little perfect spot for a bike computer, Garmin, Wahoo, whatever it's going to be, whatever you want, they include it in there as well, which is really cool. Bar is super lightweight, like I mentioned, and it is one of the first times they've offered a one-piece bar and stem combo to the bicycle game. You have here a 3-spacer system right here, and you can see they have a little bit of an integrated rear brake cable going into here. This is one thing I do not like. You have the front brake exposed right here. Yes, it's fine. You have the rear brake exposed right here as well, and with these new Level Ultimate Stealths, they sit a little bit more flush to the bar. They make them a little bit more aero, that's true. But if this isn't going into the bar and stem, what's the point of going into here? Because I just see this being more work for consumers and also more work for dealers. If you need to change out your headset bearings, you have to now go ahead and disconnect your brake hose and also change out your do a brake bleed on there as well whenever changing out your headset bearings. And headset bearings do seem to go much more on mountain bikes and road bikes because you have a lot of grime, grit, dirt that goes inside of here. I just wish they would have took this cable, put it right into here like you could have. It is what it is. They do also have another spot on this side if you're running a dropper post on here, if needed. You can see right there. But yeah, it is what it is. That's just my take on that. They did, however, I like this because I've seen so many scorn top tubes in the past by Specialized. They did add the stop for the bars. So now the bars can only go right to here. There is now a stop in here to make sure that your brakes do not swing and hit your top tube like so. See how it stops? So that is a big plus that I've seen. A ton of companies have done it already, but it's nice to see Specialized pick up on something like that and put that into their bikes as well. Big plus there. For the front suspension on here, they changed it from the 100 millimeters travel. Now on these new World Cup bikes, it's going to come with a 110 millimeter travel on here. We do have the newest iteration of the SID Ultimate front fork on here, the RockShox, a little bit lighter, but it's a 110 millimeter travel, and it does have the brain feature inside of here. So with this little blue adjustment knob right now, you have the brain fade or brain engage option here with your rebound controls right here as well. You can leave it open where if you want the shock to feel that full 110 millimeters of travel, you have that option. Or if you want to have the brain kicked on, you go ahead and put this into here. You can have it as strong as you can, so that way the bike feels very stiff at the front end until you actually hit a bump. That inertia valve opens up and allows that suspension to engage how it should, so that way you don't waste your momentum into the suspension, which is always nice. The brain technology on the front forks has been really, really good, and the paint job is absolutely stunning on here. You can see here they kind of did like some nice swirls into there. It looks beautiful, very cool. The suspension for the through axle as well is going to be a 15x110 with the boost setup. For the tires, you have a Fast Track S-Works 29x2.3 tire. Very lightweight tire, but you could go lighter if you want to be a super weight weenie about this bike. There are tubes inside of here as well, but it does come equipped with the tubeless valves to go ahead and make this thing tubeless, which I'm sure a lot of mountain bikers will do. The wheels on here are going to be one of the lightest wheels out in the market. Very underrated, and they've been out for a while, but these are one of the best wheel sets, I believe, on the market today. Not just saying that because I sell Specialized, but I believe for the pair, front and rear, they're like 1,250 grams, 1,250 grams, which is insane. Crazy lightweight, lighter weight than some road bike wheels in there. You have a Roval hub on there that's fitted with DT Swiss 180 bearings in there, so there's ceramic bearings inside of these hubs as well. You got bladed spokes. You have an asymmetric design for the rim as well, which is very nice, and a 29mm internal width for these wheels, which is crazy. Super lightweight. You can run the tires very low PSI if you want to as well. They are a hookless wheel, which I think works pretty well with mountain biking, which I do like. But it's an insane amount of technology goes into these wheels, and they are crazy light. They're asymmetric. What I mean is that they're dished opposite, so the front you can see these are dished a little bit more on this side, whereas they're a little bit more flat on this side. And then if you go to the back, it's the opposite. They'll be dished more on that side to the other side. So they say that that provides lateral stiffness for on the trail and going through turns and everything like that, which is really cool. For the rotors on here, it's a 160mm rotor in the front. It's a 6-bolt setup for these wheel sets, and then you do have the SRAM level ultimate disc brake caliper on here as well. This is the smallest rotor you can go on here. You can't go to 140, which why would you for a mountain bike? But you have a 160, and then you can always add an adapter if you want to go a little bit bigger as well. For the disc brakes on here as well, I want to kind of touch base on here. These are the SRAM level ultimates in the Stealth edition. They just raise them a little bit more to the bar to make them look a little bit more aero. Carbon fiber lever, 2-piston brake on here as well for a cross-country brake. You do get a Specialized lock-on grip with a 3mm adjustment point, and then for the drivetrain, it's the brand new SRAM XX1 Eagle transmission kit. Very cool stuff here. You have the new little infinity shifter bob right here, so you can go ahead and up and down. You can also loosen it right here by this T25, and you're able to adjust the pivot point back and forth. You can slide it over and back, wherever you want to put it at. But there's a lot of adjustments for you want to put this out on there. Paint job on the top tube looks absolutely gorgeous. They also come in a different color on this bike. For this bike, it is a full carbon fiber frame, but it is going to be an S-Works, so it is our 12M carbon. M stands for mountain, and this is going to be the lightest, stiffest carbon you can get. You have the S-Works water ball bolts right here. Boom, 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 boom. You can fit 2 water balls on here as long as you use their Specialized Z cage, which helps get the water ball out to the left or right, which is very cool. But look at that bend on that down tube. Look at the craftsmanship on there. All Specialized bikes usually come with a paired 3M tape already put on the bike, so that way you're going to help prevent some bashing from rocks. But like I mentioned, I like this because the bottom bracket is right behind of where your seat is, which is very nice. So that way you're really getting as much power as you can over the cranks. So when you're climbing, when you're sprinting, when you're doing whatever you need to do, put down power, you're a little bit more over the front of the pedals, so it makes it a little bit easier to get that leverage over that crank and really turn those pedals a little bit better, which I really do like. On here, it's a BSA threaded bottom bracket. It's a SRAM dub bottom bracket. It's not ceramic, just a standard bottom bracket on here, but it is what it is. For the crank set on here, it's going to be a SRAM XX SL crank version. I believe it's going to be a 170mm crank arm. You do get a crank booties installed with it, and it comes with a power meter chainring on there. That's right, 20 pounds, 9 kilos with a power meter crank arm on there. You have the MRP chain guide to make sure you don't get any chain drops while you're on here. I believe it is a 34 tooth that's on here. I'll double check that for sure, but I believe it's a 34 tooth chainring on here as well. Now for the fun stuff, we have their brand new iteration of the rear shock. This rear shock looks very similar to what people are always going to say. Looks like a Trek Super Caliper, but they made a ton of changes to make this bike as rigid as possible and give you suspension only when needed and not have a bobbing feel when riding this bike. It is a RockShox rear shock, but it's going to be tuned by Specialized and made proprietary for this bike. There is no lockout that you need on here. If you do want to adjust your modes on here, you need a 4mm Allen key. Is that blue one right there? You put that 4mm Allen key in there. You have an open, a trail, and then a locked out version as well. And then you have your red rebound adjustment right there as well. There is your air nozzle right here. And the coolest thing about these shocks is you would think that something like this is going to be super proprietary. Super hard to work for. Specialized want to get away with that with their brain technology. One thing about the Brains is that when you ever had to have issues with their suspension and rebuild them, you had to send them to a local Specialized dealer. We had to send them out to a Specialized, their warehouse to go ahead and have them rebuilt. This right here is 75 millimeters of travel, so a little bit more millimeters of travel. It feels stiff as all hell, as you can see. They literally have a one piece going to here to here. So it feels very, very stiff, which is nice. Only suspension when needed, so that way when you're pedaling, you're not having that bobbing system. But the best part about it is 2 bolts, a bolt here and a bolt here to go ahead and drop the shock. This comes out, so it's very easy to service if needed to do so. And also, the internals of this shock are the exact same of what comes into a rear rock shock, high-end shock as well. So if you don't have the rebuild kit, likely if it is a big mountain bike store, they should have the rebuild kit in stock, and it's a very similar internal of what they are. But these can be built in-house at stores, and they're very, very easy to use. Right here, we get a little bit better look at what the rear shock looks like. I mean, look at the design behind there. Look at the engineering. A lot of mounting points right there. But like I mentioned before, it's just 2 bolts to go ahead and drop that rear shock out. Boom right there. Boom right there. That thing pops right out, and it's very easy to work with. So, very easy maintenance, which shops I'm sure will like. Consumers who want to work on this stuff at home will like as well. And that is a nice touch to it. For the chain, it's going to be their T-type SRAM chain as well. Sorry, it's getting hot out here, guys. This is the middle of summer. And then we have the brand new SRAM XX transmission cassette in the back, their SL version, 1052 tooth cassette, super lightweight, and then their beautiful new XX transmission rear derailleur with the battery right there as well. This stuff has been really fun. Been playing around with it. Easy to shift, easy to maintain. I've had customers who already bashed that thing on rocks. All you have to do is loosen up the through axle on there. It works really, really well. It's only compatible with UDH derailleur hangers, but a lot of these new modern bikes coming out are UDH, which is really cool. But yes, this transmission stuff is one of the best on here. I will say one thing if you guys are a little bit curious. It does not shift as fast as the old drivetrain, but it's supposed to be much more reliable in terms of actually shifting and not skipping or dropping anything, because it has little ramps on these rear cassettes. It actually is tuned to go ahead and shift only when those ramps are in place to help move that chain up and down the cassette, which is really cool. So very, very cool stuff there. You have a nice little bash guard or chain guard onto the chain stay of the bike to go ahead and protect from chain slaps. And then the rear wheel is exactly the same as the front, the Control SL. And the tire in the back is going to be the Renegade Control tire T5, 29 by 2.3. Renegade, hey, Renegade. Yeah, that tire. Very nice rear tire. It's less tread, not as big as knobs in the back. A lot of riders are riding this tire because it doesn't have as much dig into the ground, so that way when you're in the saddle, you're not gonna have as much resistance when riding. The rotor in the rear is the exact same as the front, a 160 millimeter 6-bolt rotor with the SRAM level disc brake on here. Cool thing about these bikes is that they offer such an easy cable routing system for this rear brake. You run it through here, you already have the connection that's connected to the tube, so you're not gonna worry about dirt getting inside there. And it pops literally right out at the head tube right here, which is very easy for users at the end. And then last but not least, we have their new seat post as well. This is the Specialized Roval seat post in here, a 30.9 seat post, super lightweight to match with everything on this bike that's super lightweight. And then we have a S-Works power saddle, carbon fiber rails, carbon fiber body, and a 143, which is absolutely beautiful. And then their titanium bolt right here as well. But that is gonna do it for this bike, guys. This is the Specialized Epic S-Works World Cup, 75 millimeters travel in the rear, 110 millimeters travel in the front with a brain on there. The rear shock does not have a brain. 12M carbon, retails for $12,500, 20 pounds, 9 kilos. It is a crazy lightweight race machine. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Here comes your free to buy sound test on these Roval Control SL super lightweight wheels. Here we go. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Wine. Very nice. I believe that's a 36 tooth ratchet in there. You can always upgrade to a 54 tooth if you like to make that a real loud noise in there. Give you that better engagement when climbing up a better mountain. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.